Let me start with you, Congressman. What gives? Why did Cuomo get the scoop? I asked the exact same. It was literally word for word the exact same question.
Jake, maybe you should shave a little different next time.
But why the change in strategy? Why 1 week? That's up to the voters. The next week, no, he's not qualified.
Donald Trump says enough in 3 weeks to help you clarify in your mind where he stands. And then wait another 3 weeks, and he'll make you change your mind again because he changes his mind. But I think it's become very clear. This is not a guy who would make the right decisions to be commander-in-chief. It is not someone we can trust on taxes because he's not willing to even reveal his own tax returns. And certainly, we're not sure if he's for or against guns in classrooms. And so this is a guy who can cause you to say one day he's one thing, another day he's another. The problem will be, as a president, you do need to know where your president stands.
Essie, I wonder if this reveals a little bit of the fact that the Clinton campaign, like every single other person Donald Trump has run against, doesn't really know how to run against him.
Yeah, because there's so much material. It would be very difficult to figure out how to go. Do you go on character? Do you go on inexperience? Do you go on tone and discipline? There's a lot there. I personally think it would be a mistake for her to go on character. I think she is a terrible vessel to attack him on his character. I think she should stick to experience. And that's what I'm hearing mostly from her now, is pointing out what he doesn't know, what he is not ready for, what he's not prepared for. I think she's on much stronger footing there.
Congressman, I know that you are in the Trump camp, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I think that Hillary has a problem talking about experience because what she has is exposure through her life, not necessarily experience. She has been there as the secondary to Bill. Indeed, the top issue in the campaign, jobs in the economy. What did she say this week? I want to outsource that to Bill Clinton.
Well, she was a senator for 8 years and Secretary of State for 4.
Well, yes, she was, but what were her accomplishments within those opportunities that she was given? And, you know, when people say a Bill Clinton economy, do you want another tech bubble? Do you want to have NAFTA again? Do you want wage stagnation? I mean, to have Bill Clinton, you would have to have Ronald Reagan come tee that up in order for what Clinton saw as the success in the first term of his presidency.
Well, for a Bill Clinton economy, I would take 23 million new jobs, which is what we got in the longest period of sustained economic growth in the history of the country, because Bill Clinton was president of the United States at the time, not Ronald Reagan. But back to your original question, I think the difference is that Donald Trump is now the presumptive nominee, and when you talked to Hillary, he wasn't quite. And the other difference is, I think, is that Democrats understand, and Hillary understands, not to take this guy for granted, not to make the same mistake in that the Republicans made in the primary, and you know, just consider him an easy take, an easy fall. They're going to go, I think, from full bore from the very beginning against Donald Trump on the fact that he is not qualified to be, whether it's temperament or whatever, to be president.
And yet it does seem as though the Republican Party is unifying around Trump. There's this new poll showing an 11-point swing towards Trump in the head-to-head matchup, and Donald Trump got an endorsement, despite whatever misgivings gun owners and gun activists have had about him. He got an endorsement from the NRA. Take a listen.
To get the endorsement, believe me, is a fantastic honor. I will not let you down. Remember that. I will not let you down.
Essie, you're a gun enthusiast?
Yeah,
a gun
NRA
rights
member.
and an NRA member, and you're also not a fan of Mr. Trump. What do you make of this?
Well, this is huge. I mean, I talked to folks at the NRA after he spoke, and they said that he had that room eating out of the palm of his hand. I've spoken to that room. It is a big group of people. They loved him. A lot of these people, here's why it's significant, a lot of these people are single-issue voters. For the gun control crowd, they wish that their constituents were single-issue voters. We have those. So if these are people who are, many of them for the first time, going to go and vote just to keep the Second Amendment protected from Hillary Clinton, and they have Donald Trump, he has their support, that's significant for him. This was a big moment in his campaign.
And Congressman, Hillary Clinton doing something that a Democratic presidential candidate hasn't done in a long time, making further restrictions on gun ownership a big part of her campaign. Usually Democratic presidential candidates run away from that because they fear losing states like Pennsylvania or West Virginia or Ohio. You think it's a good strategy?
Well, she's certainly going to stand up to the gun lobby, and she's going to make a clear distinction. She's for making sure that everyone goes through a background check before you get a weapon. And she's going to say you can have a weapon, but just go through the gun background check. There's a big difference between saying go through a background check, whoever you are, and saying you can actually carry guns into a classroom, which is what Donald Trump is saying. And so there's a distinction. I think most responsible gun owners will say, yeah, I think everyone should go through a gun check. I'm not sure everyone is going to say we should have guns in our classrooms.
But she also wants to make it legal to sue gun manufacturers, which would effectively obliterate an entire industry. At least that's what Bernie Sanders says.
The only way you win a lawsuit,
and he's right.
The only way you win a lawsuit is if you've been irresponsible. So if a gun manufacturer is not willing to go through the test of whether you've been irresponsible, then shame on America if we don't let us go after them.
Well, let's touch on the issue you just talked about, because you brought up the issue of guns in schools, because Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump this weekend have been debating back and forth on that. And a few hours ago, Donald Trump called into Fox and Friends and tried to clear up the issue of where exactly he stands on the issue of guns in schools. Take a listen.
I don't want to have guns in classrooms, although in some cases teachers should have guns in classrooms, frankly.
Okay, Congressman, you're going to have to help me with this. I don't want to have guns in classrooms, though in some cases teachers should have guns in classrooms, frankly. What does that mean?
Let me tell you where I think this is going. Many times you will have teachers and principals say they would like for the police officer or some designee in the school to be able to have a firearm, someone who has a carry permit, someone who can respond if there is an unfortunate occurrence. So I hear that from teachers, and Donald Trump has been good about listening to what people want to see, and I think that's what he's responding to, is that you do have educators who would like the ability to be able to protect their school and their children in case they're called upon to do that.
Bill, Bernie Sanders has been painting himself this election season, this primary season, as somebody who can bring gun rights activists and gun control activists together, given the fact that he has worked with both as a senator from a state with a big tradition of hunting and very few gun laws.
He also has a D- rating from the NRA. So despite being somewhat reasonable on that issue, by the way, I disagree with him on that issue as a Sanders supporter. It hasn't won him much support on the NRA, but I think this is going to be one of the key issues in this 2016 race, because I haven't seen any candidate take the gun issue as far as Hillary Clinton, and I totally support what she's saying, has been willing to do. On the other hand, I haven't seen anybody take the NRA position as far as Donald Trump is. I mean, guns in the classrooms, Congresswoman, come on. What's the teacher going to do with it?
I still haven't heard. How do you explain having guns in the classroom and not having guns in the classroom?
It's true.
Which is it? I mean, but Donald Trump is expert at saying one thing to one audience and another thing to another audience. They are totally in conflict.
Well, to be fair, this was one thing and another thing to the same audience within the same paragraph.
Parents want to be certain their children are safe.
Quickly, I think Barack
Parents
Obama
want to be sure their children are safe in a school setting. They want to be certain that they're safe at
So
events.
guns in the classroom
It's why national security is one of the top issues. There is nothing that has been said about guns in every classroom bill, and you know that.
Well, he said in some cases. In some cases.
Allowing someone.
I want to move on to one other thing, which is Donald Trump has gotten very personal in some of his attacks about Hillary Clinton, and specifically Bill Clinton. Chris Cuomo asked Hillary Clinton about it the other day. Take a listen.
Do you ever feel compelled to defend your honor, the honor of your husband?
No.
With statements that he's making that go to the core of the relationship?
No, not at all. I know that that's exactly what he is fishing for, and, you know, I'm not going to be responding.
What do you think, Congressman, about when Donald Trump takes on Bill Clinton and scandals in his past? What do you make of it as a Trump supporter?
Well, Hillary has scandals in her past, scandals in her present, and people worry about scandals in her future. And it reminds people to be wary.
But I'm not talking about her scandals. I'm talking about his scandals, her husband's.
Scandals in the past, scandals in the present. Look at what's happened with the Clinton Foundation and the money that is there.